There I'm recording it already. Okay, almost everybody has joined, I think, yes. Remember, please, then to write your names in the chat. And okay, let me tell you what we are going to be doing today. Then I'm going to ask, but not here because it's kind of messy, yeah, to get everybody's opinion. Because you know that these meetings in Zoom, I mean, they cannot be longer than an hour because they are really tiring and exhausting for everybody. The connection is not good, you get stressed, your eyes also get tired, yes? So maybe, I don't know if there is any other day of the week when you are not having classes, because I know, for example, that in culture, you are not having Zoom meetings. So, and I don't know for other subjects. So maybe there is another time of the day or another day that you have free, so that I can organize like 2 Zoom meetings per week. And maybe some people can join in one and others in another one, okay?
Yes, that could be on Thursday.
Well, Thursdays I have another subject, but we could, well, then I will open a forum so that you can tell me if, okay, I already know it's Thursdays, so that I can check the time, okay? And okay, before we check what we have to check today in this class, I wanted to tell you a few things about the writings. I have, because like almost everybody handed in their writing in the last 24 hours. So now you have to be patient and wait for me to correct. And what you have to know about the writings, because of course it's kind of complicated to correct this way, is that usually what I do is I correct a few things, then I underline things that are not correct for you to try to realize what the mistake is. And the mistakes that are the most important, we are going to be checking together in a forum. In this way, when I provide an important explanation of something, yes, everybody can benefit from that explanation, not only the person who made the mistake. In the class, if we were having classes at the institute, this would work in exactly the same way. Yes, I usually work with what is called error analysis because it's very enriching. And the idea is that in the forum, I post a few sentences at a time, yes, and I don't immediately give the correct answer because I want you to try to correct the sentences. This process is also very important, and you're going to learn as teachers to do the same to your students. If you tell students what is wrong immediately and you don't give them the possibility to correct themselves, part of the process is missed, okay? Because usually if you can think about it, that process of thought contributes to the acquisition of the language, okay? So with the writing, that's what we are going to do. Another important thing that I wanted to mention about the writing is the number of words. In the writings, in the instructions, I asked you to write about 100 words. Most people respected that, but there were a few people who wrote more than 200 words, more than twice what I asked. And you have to respect the instructions, okay? Imagine that this was a term test or a final test. If you do not follow the instructions, even to write more than I asked, it's still, I mean, you lose points for that, because one can assume that you did not understand the instructions, okay? And at the same time, you have to think that sometimes one assesses your capacity to express yourselves in few words, in the same way which at some time I will ask you to write something longer, okay? So please always try to follow the instructions. Something that I see that we are going to have to work a lot. Okay, someone, okay. Sorry, I'm receiving messages in the chat, apart from the names. I will reply them later. Something that I see that most of you have difficulties with is punctuation, okay? So I will tell you a few details now, and this is something that we're going to be working on a little bit each week. Today, what I want to tell you about is the use of the comma, because many of you write very long sentences, maybe 5 lines, and it's like one comma after the other. I don't know how much you know about punctuation in Spanish. There are some aspects in which punctuation in English and in Spanish coincide, and in other aspects they are different. But in Spanish, we tend to write a comma every time we make a pause, right? In English, that is not the case. In English, commas are used to separate essential information in the sentence, which has to be all together without any commas, And then if you write something extra, you write commas. Imagine that I say, for example, Marianela, comma, who was the first to connect, comma, is paying attention. I could say Marianela is paying attention and you would all understand what I mean. Who connected first is extra information. And because it is extra information that is not crucial to understand the meaning of the sentence, I write it between commas. But for example, something that would always be wrong. If I say Marianela, comma, is paying attention. You should never, never separate the subject from the verb with a comma. Okay? You can have something, as in the previous example, you can have something between commas as part of the subject, but not one comma separating the subject and the verb. Okay? At the same time, if you have a sentence where you have a subject and a verb, and then you have another subject and another verb, you should not have a comma. Those are two different sentences. Marianela is paying attention, comma. Candela is also looking attentive, comma. Caroline is wearing headphones. No. I have three options there. Instead of writing a comma in each case, I could write a semicolon. You know, semicolon is punto y coma. Okay, I could write a semicolon. I could write a stop, which in many cases is the best option. Or the third option is to write a linker. Okay, Marianela is paying attention, and in this case, to make it simple, you can use and there are many other linkers that we are going to be learning through the year, yes, and Candela also looks attentive. So I'm using and also, I'm using two linkers there, not just a comma, okay? So let's start with these three basic principles that I have just told you, okay? Commas to separate extra information from essential information. Never write a comma between the subject and the verb. And when you have like subject, verb, subject, verb, subject, verb, not a comma. Semicolon, stop, or linker. Okay? Then we are going to work in further detail. Let's start with these three very important rules so that the next time I give you a piece of writing, pay special attention to that. Okay? Now, I'm going to give the answers of the paraphrase first, because if we don't have time to do the reading, I can write the answers in a forum and explanations and doubts can be clear there. I think that the biggest challenge for today is the paraphrase, right? Yes, I see some nodding faces. So I'm going to read the correct answer. Give me a second. No, we are doing fine. So I will give you the possibility to give answers, okay? Let's see, I mean, remember that this is trial and error. There are like a lot of people in this class. My idea is that if you can participate a little, it's better. If it's too messy or some people don't understand or whatever, well, next time we will do it differently. So I will read the sentence and then you can volunteer an answer, okay? And after we have given the correct answer, you can ask me if you have any doubts. In some cases, there is more than one correct option. In other cases, there is only one option that is correct, okay? So if you have doubts, go ahead and ask. Are you ready? Do you have the material there? This is so different from a face-to-face class, you know? Now you would be like moving a lot of papers, looking for. Here, I want to imagine that you have everything like I do ready here in my desk, yeah? I have just thrown something to the floor too. So, the first sentence was, I haven't enjoyed myself so much for years. Sorry. I'm making a mistake there, sorry. I wanted, that was a different exercise. Classifying the words, that's what I wanted to do. Sorry. If I make a mistake, you can correct me, okay? I mean, I know because of some of the things that you wrote in your introductions that some of you are also working, so I know that you know how it feels when you have like too many things in your mind. So if I say something wrong, like we are going to correct blah, blah, an activity that we don't have, correct me. Go ahead and tell me. No, no, miss, remember that what we had to correct was the classification of words? Don't be afraid to stop me and interrupt me. Yes, Ivana, you're raising your hand.
I was panicking. I didn't understand what's the we had to do. Are you talking about the ones that you posted today or the ones?
No, that's right. No. I'm going to read the sentences that I posted last week. The ones in which you have to, yes. One of the most important, yes, one of the most important things we have to learn this year has to do with syntactic analysis, okay, and understanding the structure of the language. And some of you probably know quite a lot, and maybe some of you don't know anything. I do know that probably the youngest of you don't know much about this because schools have stopped teaching syntactic analysis. When I was at school many years ago, we were taught in Spanish syntactic analysis. So when I learned it in English, well, there were differences, but I knew what we were talking about, yes? And now in many secondary schools, they do not teach syntactic analysis. So here we are going to start from the basics. Today, it is the classification of words. So I'm going to read the sentence and we are going to classify each word, okay? So the first sentence was, he's eating a really big apple. Now, Ivana, you're not panicking. Now you're in the same page as I am. Good. So what is he?
Personal pronoun.
Pronoun, very good. You don't need to say personal at this time. Pronoun. Remember that we made the very general classification. Then, I don't know if you have read today's class. Today, for example, I posted a lot of more detailed information about verbs. But first, the general classification. He is a pronoun, okay? Very good. If you have any doubts, you ask me. What is? A verb. Excellent. A verb, yes. What about eating?
Verb.
A verb.
Very good, very good. Yes, but here we have to separate each word. Is a verb, eating is a word. What about a? He's eating a really big apple.
An article, an indefinite article, a determiner.
Okay, determiner, very good. Yes, more specifically, it is an indefinite article, but in the general classification I gave you, I didn't ask for that. There are only 9 kinds of words. Let's focus on that now. Remember that, I insist, some of you know more about this, but some others are starting from 0. So let's start with a very general classification, okay? A is a determiner, okay? What about really? What is it? An adverb. Excellent, excellent. Remember that adverbs are words that modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. In this case, when you say he's eating a really big apple, what is really modifying? Big, exactly, big. Really is modifying big. Excellent. And what kind of word is big?
An adjective.
An adjective, fantastic. Apple?
A noun.
A noun, fantastic. No doubts in the first sentence?
No.
Excellent. We move on to the second sentence. The man drives insanely fast. Okay, the man drives insanely fast. What is the?
Determiner.
Very good. Say it with me. Determiner. Determiner. Very good. Careful there, because if you incorporate it in the wrong way, then it's very difficult to correct it. Okay? So say it several times to yourselves. Determiner, determiner. What about man?
A noun.
Noun.
Fantastic. It's a noun. What about drives?
Verb.
Verb.
Excellent. Insanely?
Adverb.
Adverb.
Adverb, very good. Did you all say adverb, or did someone say something different? No?
No.
An adjective.
Aha. Do you remember what adjectives modify?
A noun.
Exactly. And here, what is insanely modifying?
Fast.
Fast. And what is fast?
Adverb.
Is it an adjective or an adverb? Careful there.
An adverb.
An adverb.
An adverb. Very good. Because we are talking about the way in which he drives. We have a lot of adverbs that end in ly. So in that case, it's easier to identify them, but not all adverbs finish in ly. Okay, careful there. Fast, you have to pay attention to what it is modifying. When you say fast, we are not talking about the man. If we were talking about the man, it would be an adjective, but we are talking about how he drives. Therefore, as we are modifying the verb, it's an adverb. And insanely is modifying that adverb. Clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Daily is
Yes.
is an adverb too.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, absolutely.
thank you.
Very good. No doubts in the second sentence?
No.
Great, let's move on to the third sentence. I will send you a letter. I will send you a letter. What is I?
Pronoun.
Pronoun, fantastic.
Pronoun.
What is will?
Auxiliary.
Modal
Verb.
verb. Modal verb.
Auxiliary verb.
Or verb.
Okay, you are getting ahead because the classification of the verbs is something that I posted in the class today. So this is for next week. At this point, we only need to say verb.
Okay.
It is a verb. We are not talking about which kind of verb. Next week, we are going to talk about the types of verbs, okay? At this point, we just say that it is a verb. What about send?
Verb.
Verb.
Fantastic. You?
Pronoun.
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 Excellent. A?
Determinant.
Terminer. Fantastic. And letter?
Noun.
Noun.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, really good. Really good. I mean, maybe for some of you, this is like too simple. And for others, it was a challenge. Yes. But if the basis is strong, then everything that we learn on that will also be strong, okay? So this is great news. We move on to the fourth sentence. He admitted to his employer that he had made a mistake. This sentence was a little longer. Yes, there are a few tricky words. What is he?
Pronoun.
Pronoun.
Pronoun, fantastic. Admitted?
Verb.
Verb.
Perfect. To?
Preposition.
Preposition.
Excellent. No doubts there?
No.
No.
Very good. His?
Pronoun.
Pronoun.
For me, an adjective.
Okay, what is it? A pronoun or an adjective? Think about it.
It can be a possessive adjective. Or
Like in Spanish.
Don't pay attention to my face, to what the faces I make, yes? You think about it, you think about it. His, we know that pronouns, and this is what you have to ask yourselves when you have doubts about a certain word. Pronouns refer back to a noun. That means they refer back to a noun in the outside world. Whereas adjectives modify a noun. They don't refer, they don't replace a noun. The pronoun replaces the noun. When I say, for example, he, I am talking about the man, but I don't say he, man. I say he, because the pronoun replaces the noun. The adjective modifies the noun. It does not replace it. It just gives me more information about the noun. So again,
It's a possessive.
a possessive what?
A possessive pronoun.
Very,
Possessive pronoun.
it's not a pronoun.
adjective.
It's an adjective.
Adjective.
Because it
Ah,
says,
sorry.
Adjective.
yes, this is why I said at this point, do not try to go into more details with the classification, because you start with possessive, is it no. Forget about that at this point. If you think about the sentence, he admitted to his employer. His employer. What is employer?
A
Noun.
noun.
A noun. So the noun has not
Noun.
disappeared. The noun has not disappeared. So what you have just in front of it, yes, is not a pronoun because it hasn't replaced the noun. It is just giving us more information about it. Therefore, it is an adjective. I know that this possessive adjective comes like immediately to you because when you started, like many years ago, you learned possessive adjective. So it's okay. If you need to say possessive adjective, say possessive adjective. But the most important part is adjective. That's what you need to remember there, okay? Is it clear, or does anybody still have doubts about this one?
No.
No? It's okay? Good. I insist, do not be afraid to speak or interrupt. Remember that I don't get to see everyone in one screen, so I cannot see everyone at the same time. Maybe, I don't know, you're making signs and I don't see you because you're not in the screen, you're in the other. So if I'm not paying attention to you, it's because I don't see you. Speak, please, okay? So, he admitted to his employer that, blah, blah, blah. What is that?
Demonstrative.
Conjunction.
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 Okay, someone said demonstrative. You have to be careful because there are some words, like the word that can have different meanings or different functions depending on the sentence. In some cases, that is a demonstrative, but not in this case, okay?
It's a determiner, miss.
No, it's a conjunction, as many of you said. It's a conjunction. What is it doing? It is connecting two parts of the sentence. He admitted to his employer, this is one part of the sentence. If you look at it grammatically, he admitted to his employer, you have a subject and a verb. And now you're going to connect it with another part of the sentence that also has a subject and a verb. We call this a clause. When you have a group of words and you have a subject and a verb, that's a clause, okay? And in this case, you are connecting two clauses, two groups of words that have a subject and that have a verb. So the word that connects is called a conjunction. Clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, very
So
good.
it's a contraction.
Conjunction, yes. Well, he,
Pronoun.
very good. Had,
Verb.
Verb.
very good. Made,
Verb.
Verb.
fantastic. A,
Determine.
Determiner.
determiner, fantastic. And finally, mistake,
Noun.
noun, very good. So take a few seconds, look at the sentence and think about it to make sure that you understand what we explained about it and that you don't have any doubts. It's okay. Good. Sorry, I repeat this because there were some people who connected later. Please remember to write your names in the chat. Okay? I'm not going to call the roll, but then at the end of the meeting, I'm going to take a photograph of the chat so I see everybody's names there.
Yes.
Well, last sentence. Last sentence. What you said sounds like a plausible idea. Here I think that there are two words that could be confusing, yes? What you said sounds like a plausible idea. Okay? What is what?
Conjunction.
Pronoun.
And now?
A pronoun.
He,
Okay. One of the three answers you gave is correct. Think about it. What you said sounds like a plausible idea. What you said. What is what doing there? Is it modifying something? Is it connecting something? Is it referring to something?
Referring to something.
It is referring to something. What you said, I mean, the thing that you said, or the words that you said. So if it's referring to something, what are the words that refer to something?
Now.
Nouns. Exactly. Exactly.
What is a noun?
It is an, yes, a pronoun, sorry, a pronoun, because it refers to, sorry.
Okay, yes.
Sorry, a pronoun, yes. It would be, in this case, replacing something like the words that you said, okay? Or the idea that you expressed, okay? So it is a pronoun, yes. What about you?
Pronoun.
Pronoun.
Pronoun, very good, no doubts with that one. Said,
Verb.
excellent. Sounds,
Verb.
a verb too.
Pronoun.
Just a second, yes. What about like?
Contraction.
Conjunction.
Any other option?
Preposition.
Okay, think about it. Is it now, you have to think a little. Is it a preposition or is it a conjunction? It's one of those two. A conjunction connects two ideas, whereas, whereas prepositions combine, yes, with a noun or in a group of words with nouns to show the connection between different ideas or different words.
A conjunction.
A preposition.
A preposition.
Okay, why would you say that it is a preposition? Ivana or Alejandro?
Because of your explanation, I believe that it shows a similarity between the two ideas. I think, I don't know.
Okay. Alejandro, what do you think?
What she said.
Okay.
I
The same. Exactly
I
the same.
believe that if we try to separate the sentence in two clauses, we can't. Because it said, what you said sounds, or a plausible idea. It makes no sense. So if we use a preposition, we can link the whole sentence.
Excellent, excellent. With conjunctions, you are combining clauses. And here, a plausible idea is not a clause, it's a phrase, a group of words only, okay? Therefore, yes, as I think it was Paula, right?
Yes.
Yes, as Paula very well explained, like is a preposition because it is connecting different elements in the sentence, but not clauses. Here we have to think a little about the structure. If you're finding this part a little difficult, don't worry, because we are going to continue working on this, okay? Today, most of the sentences and the words were simple, okay? Remember that. I mean, those of you who are teaching or who have taught know that usually we have to start with something called a diagnosis, okay? So I see that most of the words you can classify without any difficulties. And here I can see which words are causing some confusion so we can focus on them a bit more in the next few classes, okay? Some of these will also become clearer when we start doing the syntactic analysis, understanding what is the subject, the predicate, the verb, the direct object, etc. There, when you see the connection among the elements, it will also be clearer, okay? What about a?
Determiner.
Determiner.
Perfect. Plausible?
An adjective.
Very good. What is it modifying?
Idea.
It is modifying idea. And what is idea?
Noun.
Noun. Fantastic. Fantastic. So sometimes you have doubts with one word, and to classify that word, what you have to do is look at the context and be able to see what the other words are, and that could provide an answer, okay? For those of you, I mean, if plausible was a word that you didn't know, you didn't identify, but when you see what it is modifying, then there's no doubt that it is an adjective, okay? Very good. Now I will give you the answers of the reading. First, I will give the 6 answers, and then you tell me, yes, I will ask one by one if you have doubts in any of them, okay? Do you have the material there?
Yeah.
While you're looking, give me a second, that while you're looking for the material, I'm going to take the photograph of the chat.
I believe you can download the chat.
I have to practice that for next time. You can show me next time, yes?
Okay.
Great. Okay, do you have the material there now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So 31, B. B, okay? 32, D. 33, D. 34, A. 35, B.
B.
B, B,
Okay.
yes, B. And 36, C. So let's look at them now, okay? 31B. Do you have any questions in that one, okay? When Claire realizes who is phoning her, she tries to hide her true feelings. What were her true feelings? Was she happy that her sister called? No, because usually they were like very long conversations. But does she show that she wasn't happy about the call?
No, she tried not to.
Did she expect to hear good news? No. Very good. And careful with C, because I'm thinking that probably many of you chose C. Hopes it will be a long conversation. The problem there is with the word hope. Hope has a positive connotation. When you hope something will happen, you want it to happen. She expects it will be a long conversation because she imagines that it will be a long conversation, but she's not happy about that prospect. That's why option C is incorrect, because she doesn't hope it. She doesn't want it to happen, okay?
Okay.
Clear? Yes? And does she know exactly what she will say? Did anyone choose that option? No? Okay, good. So no doubts, it's clear now?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. What about 32? Why doesn't Claire know who is ill?
Because she was not paying attention.
Very good. Did you write any other options here? This one, because this is one of the easiest ones. Yeah, but let me know if you have doubts. No doubts here? Okay. 33. How does Claire feel about her school? What did you choose here?
D.
Okay. Everybody chose the correct one?
Yes.
Excellent. Fantastic. I will have to give you harder readings next time.
It was tricky.
Yes, yes, I know. That's why I'm positively surprised that you all got it right. Excellent. So 34. What is Claire's attitude to Ruth's financial problems? Did you also get this one right, or did you have difficulties here?
A. A. 34
Yes.
or 35? Ah.
No, yes,
Okay.
34. The correct one is A. No doubts there?
No.
Okay, 35, which from some perspectives it's the most important because of the topic that we are studying in the subject. Yes. What does the word it on line 33 refer to? The correct one is the task Claire has been given, but did you all write that option?
No,
Yes.
I have chosen the first one, spending the firm's money.
Yes, me
Okay.
too.
Yes, me too. Me too.
In the phrase, there is more to it than that. There is more to it than that. Do you know what that phrase means? Do you understand the idea of not just the word, the phrase? There is more to it than that.
Like more just like hanging out and spending money.
Yes, like the situation is more complicated, or it includes more things than you would imagine. Okay, so that's why it does not refer to the money, because about the firm's money, it's not what you imagine or not. Yes?
Yes, I believe her sister was being despective, to her work, not to the fact of being spending money. That's why she said there's more to it than that. It's her job, it's more difficult, it's more important, and it's not just go and dining out.
Sorry, and that's why you think it's A?
I believe it's A because the it wasn't talking about spending money and etc. I know it's talking about the jobs, but I believe the way to see it is that she says, ¿cómo sería en castellano? ¿Hay más en eso o es más complicado que eso? Sería.
Yes, exactly. There, the most useful strategy is to paraphrase. It refers to the whole situation, not to the spending money in itself. And if you see how the dialogue continues, you can understand that it refers to the bigger picture and not just to the spending money itself, okay?
Means you have less than a minute.
Yes, yes, I can see that. But did you understand my explanation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And, well, let's do something, because I don't know if about 36 there were questions, but I mean, it would be like too fast to answer that. I will open a forum, apart from the ones of correcting sentences, a forum for any doubts about this meeting that we have had, okay? And there we can talk about any other day when we can meet. So we can meet on 2 different dates. Is that okay?
Okay.
Fantastic.
Miss, I'll send you.